And on the carbon price, it actually puts more money in the pockets of 8 out of 10 Canadian families. That's a parliamentary budget officer who says that. It's absolutely true.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
There we have Justin Trudeau poking fun at Canadians, and that question started off with, why do budgets don't balance themselves? And that's what he eventually ended up, that whole conversation, that the carbon tax, 8 out of 10 people. Let's go through exactly what he's talking about with this. And I've made videos before on this gaslighting and where he's getting information. This is the office that he's referring to. The guy here cannot tell the truth because Trudeau put a gag order against him. He made the report and he can't do that. I wonder why he can't do that. And the reason for that, let's go through this whole, where this 8 out of 10 came up. In 2019, Catherine McKenna on April Fools said, climate change is real and it requires real solutions. It's a fact that pricing pollution is the most cost-effective way to cut pollution. Our plan will also leave 8 out of 10 families better off. Well, it's actually not reducing any greenhouse gases. And I believe there's 500 people that administer the program anyways, probably cost $100 million a year to manage it. And this is where we add. There's a QR code of where that tweet came from because she said it. Then the report was done 2 years later. Now, here are the two reports that are referring to. The one on the top is the one that has detail in it, and we're going to have a look at that. I left the QR code there just because there's too many politicians shooting numbers out, and they're not saying where the report's coming from. That's where it's coming from. The one on the bottom there is another report on the government website, as you can see, and all it does is shoot numbers out, percents, charts, and it doesn't show where the data comes from. So the one on the bottom is very incomplete. And I've noticed too with Chrystia Freeland, she loves throwing she loves throwing numbers out. And with her, it's one of those things that it's fresh data and you can't think about it and ask questions about it because she says, 1 million people, blah, 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 blah. It's like latest information. There's no source of where it comes from. You can never ask questions because it's gone. And she never has reporters that call her out asking her, where does this data come from? I need a QR code to further investigate what you just said. And that's something I think needs to change. Let's go through the 8 out of 10. So 2 years later, this report comes out and it magically says 8 out of 10. Wow, isn't that super duper? So Catherine McKenna here is a genius. Her tweet out there with no information, no data magically happened. Now, in the report, this is Ontario. It's all broken into quintiles. And the quintiles different ranges by province. So quintile 5 is the high earners, quintile 1 is the low earners, and that's a family of 2. That's really how it goes in these ranges. So everyone fits in these ranges. Part-time people, part-time, $35,000 a year, they would fit into quintile 1. As a family, that's pretty tough in Canada. Now, let's go through here in Ontario, all of Ontario for 2023, 2024. $885 is your rebate. You got a check. Average. Insert $1,363. You see there on the right? The guy, you insert that much, you got a check back. Woohoo! You're a genius. Look at all the money you're getting. That's for all of Ontario. And the issue is in the blue, as you can see here, this is net cost fiscal impact only, all 5 quintiles. All the ones with minus, you get more money back. The ones that are plus, which is the 5th quintile, in Ontario, that's over $170,000. You pay $135 more. The issue is, you see the one on the bottom? This is not the complete picture in the middle. This is the one that Trudeau keeps referring to because it fits the narrative to 2019. The last one, net cost fiscal and economic impact, is like the bottom line. It's like the final number you have to pay because there's a lot of hidden costs with carbon tax as it gets cumulative, putting on another item and another item and another item. So that's something that he never wants to look at. And that's partly why I believe he's actually putting this gag order on him. because he can't say that, or I don't know, he go to jail. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but he can't say it. But it's in the report, and the QR codes are here for you to look at as well. That's where it comes from. Now, here is a summary of every quintile in Ontario. We're going to go through it now. First one, this is quintile 5, so this is the top, over $187,000 for a family. Insert $2,800, get $1,000 back. So this is the quintile where you put in more. You don't get money back. So this is the 2 out of 10 families in Canada have to pay more, over $187,000. All the other ones, it's less now. See this, about $1,600 insert, get $1,000 back. This is where you're out by $600. And with this number here, I'm referring to net cost, fiscal, and economic impacts, the bottom one in orange, because that is the bottom line. There's no point in putting the blue one because it's incomplete. And that's what Trudeau keeps using and putting the gag order on people that wrote the report. Now, quintile 4 we just looked at, quintile 1. So this is the lowest. This is under $41,000 a year. That's pretty tough in Ontario, that kind of range. Insert $450, get back about $700. So this is the only one that, you get some money back on there. This is the one that you get it back. So when he says that 8 out of 10 do better, it's really quintile 1 gets the most, but then, this is $41,000 a year. This is close to minimum wage on there. Okay, now we're talking another quintile here. Quintile 3, we're talking about same thing. Insert $1,200, get back $900. And the last one, quintile 2, yay, it's about the same. At the end of the day, what is that, about $50 difference? So it's not really that big of a deal for the whole thing, for all this hoopla that's going through. If I go back to here, as every year continues, the range start changing. And this quintile 2, for example, $43, $32, $7, $14, $47. It's really nothing. Quintile 2 is like nothing, no change at all. They are like, there's no difference at all. Quintile 1 gets a bit more back. You see how they're all minus? Here they get a bit more back. It's a bit. All the other ones you pay. And the one here, the last one, that's the one that he does not look at when he says that. And it's really sad that he is gaslighting on there. And the report of the treason, for example, all 338 MPs are considered treason until they tell that those 10 people that did it, all of them are suspect on it. You have to admit, all of them are suspect, even Trudeau. And even Trudeau having this weird laugh at the end is actually very sad for a leader of 10 years to insult Canadians on there and him not looking at it. And I don't know why the reporters aren't smart enough to look at the report, say the page number, sort of ask a question where you know the answer, but just to see what Trudeau says and correct him. And I'd love it if they put a QR code too of where that data is coming from. And we're stepping into the age of more information and checking things. I think we need to step it up on there a lot. So anyway, thanks for watching the A News Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Best of goodbyes.